Ray Balance, and welcome back to Ram Talks, our weekly after show for RAMtv. That's Aaron, that's Matt, and this is Ryan. Okay, so the first topic that we want to discuss, I'll play devil's advocate, but I know this Ubisoft punishment thing has all of you boiling. So let's just start there.
You can see Eric fuming. Not
Eric.
Aaron.
Oh yeah.
Here goes the name.
I didn't mess up the name. Yay! It's not me this
Let's
week.
give it to Mike this time for messing up names. Hey
Okay.
Steve, you still with us?
I'm here.
All right.
I'm all together.
All right.
Okay. Let's do a quick overview real quick, just in case you jump into Ram Talks instead of watching RAMtv, which you should never do.
Don't do
Watch
that.
RAMtv first,
Yeah,
and then watch us.
Because we're the spoilers. Ubisoft has put out that they are going to be punishing anyone who glitched the incursion, the newest incursion, Falcon's Lost. They haven't said how they're going to punish us, and I say us because I did it. So literally three of us
I
at
don't
this
have
table,
the game,
three
so
of us
I'm
at this
good.
table have glitched this.
Yeah.
Because why not? Because you're going to give us 15 waves of nearly impossible foes. You're not going to drop ammo. And by the way, 2 or 3 of their rounds kill us. But we barely take off a bit of damage. Anyways, so they're going to punish anyone who did this glitch, which is primarily everyone who's done this.
Play the game.
Right, so I'm really, really upset about this. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm pissed.
Why are you pissed?
Okay, you create the game. You create the DLC. You create this project. And then you mess up your coding.
Yeah.
You screw it up. I exploit it. I exploit your screw up. I'll admit it. Right?
Yeah.
Admittedly, we exploit it. We exploit the crap out of your screw up.
Yes.
But it's your mess up.
It
It's
is.
not
It is.
mine.
It's their thing.
So let's not even get into it. I'm going to get into some of the division. But let's not even get into that yet. Let's just stick with this for a second. You're going to punish me because of your faulty coding. Because you made a mistake, it's now my fault. I cannot get on board with this. I cannot defend this. And I defended the Division for a long time when it came out. Oh my God, I was
Yes,
one of those
you
like,
did.
oh no, it's not going to be Destiny all over again. It's not going to get repetitive. It's not going to get boring. I was on board. You hurt me. You hurt me, Ubisoft.
Well, I think the writing was kind of on the wall there.
No,
I have a question for you guys actually. Before
Yes.
have other games punished people for it, like Ubisoft says they
Some
will?
have in the past. Like I know WoW. Like we were talking earlier, and WoW actually punished people. Like that. Well, I mean, I punished by like canceling their accounts for some cheating.
Ouch.
But then we have games like I don't think Bungie punished anyone for doing, glitching in Destiny at all.
Yeah.
I don't.
But
Yeah.
there's a big difference between cheating and exploiting an in-game glitch.
Agreed.
We're not playing the Division at an MLG level. We're not doing an esports sort of thing. So exploiting an in-game glitch just means I'm utilizing a mistake you made.
Right, I understand, but I'm just saying, there were also exploitations in these games, and there were people who weren't punished by these companies, because I know Bungie didn't punish people for exploiting, because they were like, oh yeah, we did our coding. They just fixed it and let people go on with their lives. They didn't take anything away from people. They didn't cancel their accounts.
And what bothers me
So-
the most about this whole thing, like you said, Bungie fixed it and said, oh,
Yeah.
our bad.
Our bad, yeah.
But
And-
instead, Ubisoft comes out, has someone come out, and instead of apologizing for their mistake, they
Yeah.
say, well, actually, we're going to take it out on you guys. That's like...
From comment sections and other threads from what people have posted, actually I see a lot of gamers that are kind of, saying that anybody that exploited the glitch was actually really not like helping the community, and that they were kind of hurting everyone and making people turned off by the game itself. So what do you guys think about that aspect?
Well, okay, so, but I guess my thing, I'm going to say this. The glitch was there for you to exploit too. You cannot sit here and say, well, that puts me at a disadvantage. No, gives you the exact same advantage as I had. You can exploit the glitch as well. If you choose to play the game as it's built and not exploit the glitches that are there, that's on you and that's great. But if other people are going to do it, and I'm going to keep up with those people for things like the PvP Dark Zone,
Right.
I'm going to keep up with people. I'm not going to get left behind. Because if I get left behind, then the game's no fun. Because I'm never going to stand a chance. And I think that's what they're getting at. But the point is then do we as a community move into it and say, you know what? Everyone's doing this. May as well jump on that bandwagon so I don't get left behind, so that the game doesn't become not fun for me.
Right.
if you really want to go through, and you're going to say that because I refuse to sit there and go through 15 waves, that we're calling a raid, which is not a raid.
Definitely
but,
not a raid.
It's a raid.
But you know what I'm saying? If we're choosing to exploit a survival mode, not a raid.
It is kind of survival mode.
It really is. But if we're choosing to exploit that to get the gear, and you're not, that's on you. Because you can exploit it just as easily as I can. Now, I will tell you, exploiting it was not fun.
No.
It was
That was
really
very boring.
And I
It
actually,
was so boring.
admittedly, I only did it twice. I did
Yeah.
it once with you, and I did it once with you. And that's
Okay.
all I did it, because it's that boring.
Yeah.
Because you exploit it, nothing attacks at you, and you sit behind this APC, which the only way to take damage is for grenades and your sticky bomb. And you sit there for 45 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on your tactical skill. Mine's low because all of my stuff's set up for DPS.
Right.
And you shoot your grenade at it, and you let it blow up. And then you use your little health to boost it by your cooldown rate by 50% or something like that. And you shoot it again, and it's just mind-numbing.
You guys know what's
boring.
more boring is sitting through 15 waves and dying a bunch of times.
You may have a point there. You may have a point, Steven.
I mean, it is kind of surprising because Ubisoft wasn't. There were other glitches in this game that people were exploiting, and Ubisoft hasn't punished anyone for that.
Right.
You know?
They just
like that Dark
turned
Zone glitch with the guy that he would keep respawning for you if you just went to a certain
Or
way. Have they announced they're going to punish anyone about that?
No, it's just this, and part
Right,
of it is
and so that's
part of it
kind
is because by exploiting this glitch, you're able to run it more than once a week, or get loot from it more than once a week, and that's really the issue at hand here.
Well, then I understand that, but I mean, so fix it so people can't do that then, but don't punish people just for taking advantage of a mistake that you put in the game in the first place,
Yep.
that
Right.
you failed to account for. However it works, I'm not a coding expert, so.
Well, if anything, I want to say real quick, because of course I didn't play the game, so I don't know the anger you all feel, but
I'm
I
kind of
don't
indifferent,
like
but-
the precedence this will set for the rest of the game community and for other game companies that maybe Square Enix or other game companies could just exploit us and punish us for their mistake. I don't like that because I want No Man's Sky. I want Final Fantasy 15. If I find a glitch and it helps me with my swords and my magic, of course I'm gonna do it because it's Final Fantasy. It gets very difficult within the hour that you play it, And I do agree with you all on it sucks that Ubisoft is doing it, but to play a little devil's advocate though, don't you think that not exploiting the glitch and playing the game as it was meant to be played is actually a better thing, and not I can do this and be ahead of everyone else?
So here's my argument to that.
Okay.
If those enemies in those 15 waves dropped anything, I'd say yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they literally coded these enemies. They drop nothing
Yep.
except for the explosives you need to blow up the APC. They literally don't even drop ammo.
You play the
Yeah.
whole game just for the end guy to pick up something.
Okay.
15 waves.
Yeah.
You go through an hour's worth of
Yep.
survival. It's not a raid.
Okay.
And
It's part raid.
for what?
Sorry.
For what? For
I
the
said that
last
on
guy
purpose,
to
I
drop 2 items. By the way, both times I've played it have been
Yeah, you
worse
got-
than my
you got
current. I
wor-
got
you
so
got bad
screwed on
items
this.
there.
And I think I actually gave you one of my items. I think I did the same thing with you. I'm like,
You
here, it's worse
definitely
than
did.
what I have.
You
Like,
definitely did.
Well, see, you're not gonna lose anything when they punish you then. So.
right, what are you going to lose? I've already lost.
So
I already lost by play.
So I think I might have blacked out for a little bit, but what are they gonna do to you all for
too.
doing the
They don't know.
the
We don't know
glitch?
yet.
Well,
They're just saying punish.
you must have blacked out, and I apologize for those roofies. But they literally haven't put down. They're just basically they're like,
Just-
well,
they just
hey,
say
just so
punish?
you know, doing this glitch is against our code of gamer conduct, and there will be reprimands.
So they haven't said anything about you're gonna lose a character or you're gonna
No, they
Oh,
literally.
I
I think they told me to wait till my father comes home. I think that's what they actually said to me.
basically they haven't detailed what the punishment will be.
No.
Okay.
Which, and again, here's another issue. What are you gonna do? Lose my character? Okay, well that happened when you did the April update. So,
You lost it too?
No kidding.
no, I didn't. But that's my point. Is
Okay.
players out there did lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I didn't lose mine, but
I think it was primarily the Xbox.
yeah, it was
community.
mostly Xbox.
Ah, I mean, oh.
Uh,
But yeah.
Sorry, Ray.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Long story short, though, as long as it's not a mod, like, as long as you're not modding and it's a glitch and in-game, like, what's your problem?
Right, that's
Right.
my big thing, is if we're not actually
Yeah.
cheating. You have a bigger problem, and that is people actually modding
Yep.
and cheating in the dark zone.
Yeah.
Let's focus on
Yeah, why
that
don't we do-
instead of people exploiting your mistake. It's just
I
that's how I
second
feel.
that. Gavel down.
Gavel down.
And it's not a
Guilty.
raid. You promised me a raid. Give me a raid, man, not a survival chamber.
Now,
God.
I
Sorry, I'm a little bent out of
no,
shape about
but
this, too.
Yeah.
do others in the community feel the same way you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, is there a
sure.
whole
Oh, yeah.
subreddit like post on this
There
whole
is.
thing?
There's a lot of people very upset about this, and basically the people who are like who have taken the most calm approach have basically said, don't punish people now. Put something in place, a punishment in place for those who do it from here on out.
Okay.
Why backtrack who did it?
And
That's true.
I haven't
I
met
agree with
a player that wasn't exploiting that glitch. All of my friends and people that I'm seeing like playing were all taking advantage of it. So I mean, what are you gonna just punish everyone for doing it?
Listen here, PlayStation community. You're all in trouble.
Yeah.
And again, it's when your father comes home. I'm not going to actually do anything about it.
Oh my
And like, how are they gonna know for sure who did that or not?
Yeah,
'Cause
prove we did
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
like,
Well-
like, how do they know we didn't get the gear, through the normal way or through this way? How are they going to be able to keep track of that? Unless they got like some kind of monitoring system that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
They probably do.
And I
Or that
doubt
says
it
some kind of
unless
big-
you're the
big brother
NSA.
type.
That it says you played the raid multiple times over and over and over.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, well, I've only done it once, so they got nothing on me.
But
Well, yeah,
you're
you're
still getting
lucky.
punished.
And-
I did it at
No,
least
yeah, we
5
did
or
it
6
a couple
times that
times.
night.
Oh, well.
Oh
sorry,
man, I
sorry.
only did it twice.
Oh.
Hey, if
well,
you're going
good.
after anyone, go after Larry.
Whoa. Larry is my name, by the way.
Well, that's fine. I'll keep my backpack. So.
Yeah, I gave up my backpack.
Okay, but
I got 3 backpacks.
You have 3?
It just all random stuff. I decided not to look at.
I gave up my 1,000 armor backpack for my 500 and some armor backpack because I was like, I still want the raid gear.
Yep.
Raid gear. It's not a raid.
I don't know what they're talking about with backpacks at all.
that's okay. It's a gear piece.
Oh. Division.
All right, so moving on.
Yes,
Moving on.
since we are in the realm of video games, I would very quickly like to talk Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
Said it right.
You did.
And
Oh, right.
Finally.
You were calling it- what were you
Demon
saying?
Souls.
Demon Souls?
Yeah.
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls 3.
For weeks.
You guys probably haven't got to play Demon Souls 3 yet. It's been an Aaron exclusive. Dark Souls 3. So I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls 3 recently.
You
Love
bought
it.
it too?
How?
Yes, I have. Do you have it?
No.
No. So how difficult? Because the Dark Souls games is based off of
Yeah,
very
its
high
name
difficulty.
So
is
they're
to be
known for
difficult.
being difficult.
Right.
And I heard about all these speedruns, people doing it in like
Yes.
48 minutes.
That's insane.
So I'm playing through the very first opening area. You've got these enemies, and I'm like one-shotting them. I'm like, this is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna run through. I'm gonna hurry.
That
I'm gonna be
doesn't.
able
That
to do a
doesn't.
speed
See,
run.
that doesn't sound like a Dark Souls game at
Oh,
all.
hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
So we get to the first boss. I'm super pumped, like, okay, it's the first boss. They're gonna challenge me a little bit. I go in with my little guy and his little thrusty attacks, like he's using a rapier, which he's totally not. It's a long sword, but that's okay. Besides the point. Medieval history aside, I go in. I'm doing all my little thrusty attacks, and the guy I'm playing an assassin. He's not like stupid powerful with his strength,
Right.
and I'm just, I'm bobbing, I'm weaving, jumping around, and rolling. And I killed the first boss. I didn't die once. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so on top of this.
And
I'm
then-
thinking, I'm awesome.
Okay.
Then I get into the first real world, the high wall, and I get in there and I find this enemy. I run up to him and I stab him one shot just like I did the other ones. Only he didn't die. Nope. He looked at me and went, "You're cute." Wham! And hit me upside the head, and it took like half my health. And I was like, "Wait a minute! Whoa!"
That sounds more like Dark
Yeah.
Souls.
When your first boss fight was easier than this dude? So I realized very quickly, I was like, hey, these guys are going to take a few shots. You get through some of those enemies, you get to the next level of the enemy. Bobbing and weaving, not too bad. They're not like people like turning real quick and smacking you upside the head.
Right.
So they're not like pivot instantly characters. I get to this boss, the second boss in the game, and I'm thinking, all right, I got through the first guys. He's going to be a little more difficult, just some bob and weave tactics. We're going to be good to go. No. And admittedly, that's what it seemed like. First half the fight, first 50%, I was like jump behind him, stabbing him in his ass, literally, he's on 4 legs.
Okay.
I'm rolling behind him, literally stabbing him in the butt, laughing. And then he transformed. And when he transformed, it was all over.
Okay.
Suddenly, it was not predictable. His speed, like, increased tenfold. Like, he bounced backwards, looked at me, growled, got all glowy, and charged me and took out 3/4 my health. And I'm like jumping up, rolling out of the way. I'm like, oh, heal, drinking the elixir. As I'm drinking the elixir, he runs in, hits me again. I'm drinking my next elixir. He's like, ah! Bitch slaps me across the face, knocks me backwards. I'm drinking my 3rd and final elixir. She jumps through the air, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So
it's very difficult.
Aaron's cackle turns to a minor wimpy. Just
I went from
So it sounds like they kind of lured you in a false sense of security.
Oh
with
my
that
god,
first
so
boss.
bad.
Which definitely doesn't sound like anything they've done, because I've played the previous Dark Souls games. That sounds like nothing.
Nothing.
Every first boss in those games
Yep.
was a pain in the ass.
Right, by the first boss,
was-
you're pulling your hair
Yeah,
out, but
first-
this one, you're like, no, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's this little extra guy you can fight off on the side. You don't have to. It's called the Master Swordsman, next to the Sanctuary. And he was tough, but he was like tough in like you kind of got him really close to the edge, near the end of his health sort of way.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I can do this. So, I mean, that kind of did give you the same difficulty of Dark Souls where he killed me numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I got him that much closer. And I was like, okay, I got this. And eventually I did I accidentally knocked him off the cliff. So,
Oh, so you could
when
loot him.
when I exploited the game.
Don't punish him.
Please,
my God.
please, Ben, I do not punish me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Don't
to
worry,
knock
it's
him off.
Namco. We're fine.
Yeah. Well, I've read
Maybe.
I've read some threads and stuff, and actually, like the exploits and stuff are actually in there on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, so so they're not gonna.
Punish
Right.
you.
Right. They basically put out the game and said, "Woo,
But
sorry."
of course, it's the last one too. The last Dark Souls. But did you like the game?
I love it. I love it.
Love it?
I'm fairly addicted to it. Dude.
All right.
Okay.
It's
So
really
how would you say that game compares to Bloodborne, which was their previous, which wasn't exactly a Dark Souls.
It
But
wasn't.
it was like the
but
Dark Souls universe.
Definitely as I would say in the same spirit
Mm-hmm.
of the Dark Souls. And okay, so I liked Bloodborne,
Yeah.
but even
A lot of people like Bloodborne.
Even Bloodborne's first boss made you cry a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I basically thought, honest to God, what had happened was I had just become so good at Bloodborne that like Dark Souls wasn't going to be a challenge. And
Yeah.
I thought that's what had happened when I got to that first boss. I was like, oh, I just got the timing down. I'm
Yeah.
amazing. Look at me. And then Dark Souls laughed in my face and said, actually, it's tougher than Bloodborne. And Bloodborne's really hard.
Yeah, I've heard
So,
that.
yeah, so I would say comparatively, I like Dark Souls actually much better.
Okay.
For one reason, primarily, and that is I was not a huge fan of giving up my shield for a pistol or shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer having the shield. That's just my preference.
Okay.
I prefer having the shield or a secondary weapon to parry with, like a parrying dagger, versus having like this gun that I can shoot people at the right time. I prefer the shield. I prefer a parry weapon. That's just and that's honest to goodness. That's just the fight choreographer in me.
Mm-hmm.
I preferred my rapier dagger. Well, seriously, I do fight.
I know.
I preferred my rapier daggers. I preferred my broadsword and shield. So, and because I had that kind of love, I think I'm just.
No,
It's nostalgic for me. I
I'd
guess.
probably use a gun, but that's just me. So.
Why? Why bring a gun to a sword fight?
I mean, it worked for
Well.
Indiana Jones, so
I don't know.
thank you, Ryan.
See, I have not played any of the Dark Souls games. I know about it. I know it's difficult.
You're borrowing Bloodborne soon, though, right?
I might, but then
Do
I'm
it.
scared.
I mean, if people,
that I
it doesn't.
look.
I mean, is it
The
meant to
thing
be a
is,
horror game?
I am
No?
like
Okay.
going, like for me, it's just like I don't want to get scared, and I don't want so much. I want a challenge, but if I'm gonna be mad within like 5 minutes of it, I wouldn't want that.
Right.
Right.
And
You know.
here's what I will say
Yep.
that's interesting about Bloodborne, different from Dark Souls. Dark Souls, at least you have a weapon when you start.
Right.
Bloodborne, you didn't. The idea was literally to be killed by that first enemy you came across,
Right.
which was kind of frustrating because you sit there and you spend all this time dodging and punching and dodging and punching. And had I known that I was meant to die the first time, I would have literally just let the thing maul me. Because then you get your first weapon, and then you go back and you literally spank its little tush. It's like 3 hits and it's dead.
Yeah.
And then you kind of feel like your first character was
If anything,
grossly
I mean,
underpowered.
I'll borrow Bloodborne. I was about to say Battleborn for some reason. Bloodborne.
Different game.
Different game
Different
entirely.
game
Different
entirely.
game.
But
Oh,
if
Battleborn.
anything, probably by next week I should have played Bloodborne, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
And if I don't like it, then I'm gonna go off for a rant like you all did with Ubisoft about how I don't like it.
I don't
it's
like
too
Bloodborne.
difficult.
5
and I-
years later,
it's
I'm
too
giving
scary.
you a rave review.
and it's too scary and all that, you know.
I mean, I know it's in a gothic atmosphere, but I heard
I
it
really
wasn't that.
I don't think it's scary. It's really not, because it's not meant to be a horror game. It's not
Right.
like Outlast or
Mhm.
Until Dawn. Oh God, Outlast is frightening.
Yes, it is.
Have-
I saw Teens React play.
Have any of you played the new Doom beta?
No,
I have it downloaded. but
I
haven't
have it
played
downloaded.
it's
too,
it's
right?
too scary for me too.
But you guys, the beta's over tonight.
Is it over tonight?
It's over tonight. Dang it!
Okay.
I wanted to talk about it.
Oh, I gotta.
No. I mean, I've seen footage of it.
Yeah,
to
I've seen
play.
footage and that's why I don't.
Definitely
want
looks
to
Yeah.
very impressive.
It does look good.
It's a lot of fun. Super fast paced.
It looks
Well, I'm
pretty.
sure.
As all.
I
as
mean,
Doom
especially if
generally
it's
is,
Yeah.
using, like all the Doom stuff has always used like the Unreal Engine, and that's
Yeah.
always been
Now,
like really fast-paced
I
gameplay.
do
Yeah.
have a question for you because I always got confused. Okay, so Doom, they're in Mars. I know they're on Mars, but the it's an alien race or it's the portal to hell is found on Mars. I don't get it.
It's really, it's
Yes.
a portal to it's
Like,
it's like
what is
they're
it?
demons from hell
Mm-hmm.
coming.
But now the question is,
Yeah.
for those of us who believe hell is here on Earth, is it in fact Mars hell? Does Mars have a hell?
I don't
Maybe
know.
that's the true
I
story
mean-
Doom is exploring.
I mean, maybe in the movie version, yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
That's
good
okay.
question, and if I were more of a Doom expert, I would be more keen to answer that for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with it's Mars hell. It's Mars hell.
I mean, I think it's just
This is
hell.
This is the hell of those tiny little green men
I know. I think it's actually saying this because I've played
and Matt Damon.
well, yeah, definitely Matt Damon, but I played Doom 2. I played Doom 3. I think it's actually feels a little more like
Supposed to be like hell.
hell, you know.
H-E
And that
hockey
somehow
sticks.
and then for some odd reason the portal's on Mars. So
Why on earth would we put it here? We have a loving God. He would not put the portal to hell on earth where he put his favorite people.
Ram philosophy.
Okay.
sorry for all you Christians out there.
I actually have.
I just want to do a quick call out to THC Gooch, Steven. We're talking to you, baby.
Oh yeah. What's up, Gooch?
I actually have a topic that I kind of wanted you all to like think about
Okay.
because I have an opinion on it, and a lot of people don't really think about it that much. But Drake announced that his new album "Views from the Six" will be an Apple Music exclusive on Apple Music,
Right.
and it's the discussion of exclusivity on streaming services has come up yet again in the tech world, especially. What do you all like? Would you all think that kind of strategy will get you to sign up for a platform like how with Kanye with Tidal or Spotify not really getting the albums first because they refuse to block off some content for only premium users like myself? So like, what do
This
you all
is
think?
the beauty of capitalism.
Okay. yeah.
Whoever can pay the most money can have whatever they want.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's just capitalism.
Okay.
I can't be upset because someone basically said, "Oh, you want to offer me more money than anyone else?" Oh, no, thank you.
Okay.
It's plain and simple. Despite what we want to call music, and please do not think about what I'm going to say here is how I feel. But these people are business.
Yes.
They are not just artists.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. And the only way in art to make money, generally speaking, is to sell out.
Yes.
Yep.
Because trust me, as an actor, I will sell myself to the highest bidder. No joke.
And don't take that
I
out of
know.
context, people.
It's
a
totally
TV
talking
host,
about porn.
I wanna.
But
Okay.
but Ram
Yes.
After Dark.
Finally, we can get you some roles.
Yeah.
And for IGN, which I just recently applied to, I'm adding it to my reel.
Oh my God.
That's okay. They'll probably be okay with it. So.
You know.
But
But like, I don't know. If anything, the thing is, I understand the argument. I really do. But consumers, we all don't like. I don't like Apple Music personally.
okay, but here's the thing.
I-
I guess this goes back to this. This
Yes.
ties in very much to the Ubisoft thing. Okay.
Okay.
Are we supposed to start pandering to everybody?
Exactly.
I
No.
don't believe in a pandering universe
Yeah.
because you PC or Mac, you can download iTunes for free.
Yes.
And then you know what? You can pick your favorite subscription service from there. Because each subscription service, just like Xbox, just like PlayStation, have their exclusives.
Yes.
Yes.
So, am I supposed to be upset because Bungie won't make Halo for my PlayStation?
But
I mean, the
but,
point is,
but these are two different industries, though.
but the point is every industry has exclusives.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
They do. HBO doesn't have Kimmy Schmidt.
Well, that's that's a Netflix show, though.
Oh, but
That's the
okay.
point,
though.
Exactly.
That's
It's
exactly the
an
point.
That's exactly the
exclusive.
point
Yeah.
he's making.
Yeah.
The moment we start saying, well, you know what, recording artists, you can't do this, they're gonna say, well, then you know what, producers, you can't have specific TV shows or video games can't have certain exclusive titles. Once we start doing that, we open up a much larger can of worms, and
Yeah.
we basically say, well, there goes the free market.
I thought we were all just YouTubing our music anyway, so.
Right.
I
Pay
made-
for it. I SS YouTube
Okay.
all my music.
I actually, I see. I had YouTube Red. I'm gonna get back soon, but I pay for Spotify Premium, and if I am paying for a service, you know, I want the Adele album, which is still not on Spotify. I kind of want the Taylor Swift album, you know, I'm not that big of a fan of hers, but I want it.
But,
You
okay,
know,
but then
I don't want to go to Apple Music to be able to stream her album, Taylor Swift's album.
Then you have to choose.
Yeah.
Either the albums are worth enough for you to change subscriptions or
It's
subscribe
not.
to multiple platforms.
That's so
Or you
funny.
could get the albums separately. You know, they still make discs.
I
what's a disc?
don't believe in physical media, but that's another discussion.
What?
Okay, I'm just saying it sounds way better on vinyl than it does on YouTube. But
Yeah, but
I mean,
always
if
have
it
my, I always
was
have my
on
phone
vinyl,
with
probably
me
would.
and all that.
hey, how come they still get large vinyls when they do platinum and stuff, and they get a vinyl all painted in a pretty color?
They do?
Yeah, and it's in that big plaque. What's up
Yeah,
with
how come
that?
no one gives me a plaque?
Oh my god.
But no, my point is you either have to choose. Either you want the album that bad that you're willing to swap, or you want a specific streamer, and that's what you want. You have to pick. That's capitalism at work. You don't get the right to say, well, iTunes, I don't like you, so
Yeah.
Swift, I need you to move on over here to Spotify for me, because that's who I pay for.
That's
Now, that being said, become her best friend. And maybe she'll pick based on what
Part
you want.
of her squad, the legendary squad goes. But no, talking about capitalism though, the really big thing I actually want to talk about from RAMtv that I reported on would be cable boxes.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that you don't own that X1 cable box or that Dish cable box. You rent that cable box, and every month you pay for that cable box, and it's not even that good.
You can't buy them, can't you?
See, now that's the thing. A lot of these cable companies discourage that.
Well, of course they do. You're taking money out of their pocket. But
right.
you
Exactly.
can do it.
You can do
That's
it.
like Comcast saying, well, we discourage you buying your own router, which, by the way, is much better than ours.
Yes.
Or you could rent this one for an outrageous fee.
Exactly. And if anything, like, do you think what the FCC is trying to do is a good thing? Or are you signing with the cable company and
Let's
and
give a
having
let's give a broader overview.
What is the
FCC
What's the
trying to do?
FCC doing?
So the FCC is arguing that the market for cable boxes, there is no market for cable boxes. They know that the cable boxes are running on software that is not pretty much up to date, that's old, that's not really well designed, and that having a market of cable boxes will create more jobs, will increase the innovation of cable boxes and offer people more options as well. So that's why we have like TiVo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, TiVo is its own third-party DVR that you can connect with your Comcast and all
Right.
that, but it's its own software, and it's it's always been rated as the better cable box for your cable subscription.
But cable companies, on the other hand, are saying, well, no, we don't want you to do that. The FCC shouldn't have that right. Instead, you should just keep renting these cable boxes for an outrageous fee. Oh, by the way, it's going up next month.
Exactly. And if anything, like, do you all think,
Congratulations,
like,
consumer.
would you all want this vertical integration of cable box and cable company, or would you want to buy another cable box from, like, you know, let's just say, for example, Logitech makes a cable box, or Apple makes a cable box, which is
It's called Apple TV.
well, there's actually a story about that, but I don't want to get into that.
Right.
But like I'm in support of the FCC. We need to create a competition in order for innovation to succeed. That's how most markets flourish, is by creating competition.
I agree, and I was on board with them for the whole net neutrality thing.
Yes, me too, of course.
Absolutely.
I think, again, and this goes back to capitalism, no one person, like these cable companies, should have the monopoly on this.
Yes.
Right.
That's not fair. I don't know, now we're talking about pandering. That's not fair!
Okay.
But the market does need to be built. By no means am I saying, well, cable companies, you just shouldn't be able to do this. No, they want to offer the service. They should totally be allowed to offer the service.
But
there should be
others.
competitors so that they aren't able to keep jacking up the prices. So I am on the side of the FCC, and uniquely enough from your story, President Barack Obama, who clearly watches way too much TV because he got Game of Thrones Season 6. We talked about this last week earlier.
Wait, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he
Where
did.
were you last week?
He did.
He was the only, not even the actors
Not even the
got
actors
him.
have advanced
Yeah, not
copies of
even
the
the
DVDs,
actors.
but President
President
Obama
Obama
has already watched Season 6.
Well,
Yeah.
this is his last like few months. If anything, like he's like whatever.
I just know what I
I'm
think's
done.
funny about him though is
Like,
last week the
honestly.
big news about the White House is President Obama's like, I'm gonna need some advanced copies of Season 6. Thank you very much. Game of
Yeah.
Thrones, HBO, love you much. And then this week he's like, okay, look, we have an issue with cable boxes. I'm getting charged way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
Well,
lot of
Americans
TVs
are
in my
getting
house.
charged too
I
much.
mean, Americans are getting charged way too much.
Yeah.
I have a lot of TVs
And
in my
each
house.
one of them is running a different episode right now. So.
All right.
He's
So
having viewing parties right now.
so anyway, barring our political talk hour, which
Yes.
we're having right now.
Okay.
How many of you? I don't know. I know you're a big Game of Thrones fan. I don't know about either of you watched Game of Thrones?
You know, I have watched Game
You
of
have watched Game
Thrones.
of Thrones?
I haven't watched every episode
No.
like straight through. No, but I know what happens, and I think he's dead. Why do people need to stop
all
with
right,
that?
all right.
But,
whoa,
okay.
All right. I'm.
Just so you know, you're picking
I-
up a lot of this noise as
Yeah,
you
I
slam your
know.
Yeah,
elbows.
I'm sorry.
I read through book 4, and so when I saw some descriptions of the people, it instantly turned me off to the show. But I've heard so many good things about the show that I really need to pick it up, so I haven't seen it.
It's a very impressive show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
have,
is.
I
It's
have
a really
the-
good
I
show.
have 1 through 4 seasons on Blu-ray.
I have
so-
1 through 4
Okay.
seasons as
Lovely.
well, and you know
We'll
it's
just-
done.
we'll just have a viewing
It's
party.
done. It's
I
done
agree.
so well, and you know people were expecting this to become a big thing when it was first announced back in the 2010 and like 2011 when it came out, and it got like so many high ratings, and the ratings have obviously only gone up and up
Up
since
and
then.
up, yeah.
And now season 6 is like a week away. It's like less than a week away,
But
coming this Sunday.
yeah, but you
I know, Rachel's gonna have to go sit in her room while.
But you do know that like the creators and like the producers of Game of Thrones, they want season 7 and 8 to have fewer episodes, but to be the last.
Right,
of-
exactly.
of the
Yeah.
show.
They've talked about how they see themselves as having at least 13 episodes left. They'd split that up to half. They'd have at least 7 for the 7th season and 6 for the 6th
And
season.
I mean, this
And
comes from the fact that Martin is still very much involved with this, even though the book's
Right.
not written yet.
Right,
But
he's still very
okay,
involved in
is
this.
is he going to be traveling along a different path than the way that he's writing? Has
I
anything been
From
said
what
about
I
that?
understand, they're following a path that he has set.
Yeah, he set
through
this path.
This
They-
is their path, and they're not diverting from
Okay.
it.
'Cause what
Like
they-
everything's that, and we're trying not to spoil anything for anyone here who hasn't seen the seasons. But that everything that's happened in the show has either happened or was going to happen along the line in his book series.
Yeah. And I
So
think
they're-
it was season 4 they'd announced
Yeah,
that
season 4 they announced
he
that
basically,
because
by season 4, they had the ending of the series.
yes,
He
They
carved
knew-
out the whole path for them 2 years ago
right.
Okay.
and said, this is the way it's
It's
going to
gonna
go.
end. Okay.
Right, but they're also saying that the reason they want to lessen this down because normally they do 10 episodes a season, and if they didn't split it down, they'd have 10 for one season and 3 for another, which would be very odd. But that because they're planning on like they've already talked about how epic, which should leave fans like excited like, oh, how epic is it going to be? But like the epicness of the last couple seasons, that there's going to be so involved that they won't have enough time for like a standard 10 episode 1 year season, which is the reason to split it up like
Which
that.
really makes me wonder too, like if in those last couple seasons they're really going to follow the book.
Right.
Like in the way in which he's laid out.
That
them.
does- that
Obviously,
does
the book
leave-
doesn't exist yet.
Right,
but
exactly.
In the way in which he's laid it out, I wonder if they're going to follow.
Well,
as
I mean,
tightly as
the thing is
possible.
like the 6th book at this point has to be at least like
Somewhere down the
three-quarters
line.
of the way
Yeah, of course.
laid out. But if we're talking about the 7th book, which he hasn't even gotten to yet,
Anyone else wonder if he's got like really bad writer's block? And he was like, look, I know how it's gonna end. You guys write it. I'll go from there.
If you start reading through, even in like middle of book 4, like it's so compelling and everything's happening, but even when you get to them, you're just like, man, you're just procrastinating the end of this. Like you're just pushing it farther and farther. So yeah,
I mean, not that we're trying to badmouth him or anything.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
It just, this is usually his usual practice. It usually take him, like for the last book, it took him like 8 or 9 years for it to complete it.
Yep.
I mean, so granted, this is a little bit longer stretch than normal, but as far as I know, he's still working on it as far as possible.
Right. No,
But
and he takes his time.
He does.
For sure.
and he's got so much going on with the show. I'm sure. He's
I
busy.
think he also knows that he is dead. People need to get over it. Jon Snow.
Oh,
He
I thought
is
you were
dead.
talking about Martin. I was
know,
like,
I'm
No.
He's
No.
what?
He's
All right,
alive.
We don't know that. We
Okay,
don't know
look.
that. Sorry, spoiler alert for anyone if you haven't seen season 5.
Yeah, let's stop
shame on-
talking.
Yeah.
The episode
No,
has
no,
been
no, no,
here
no,
for
no.
a while. No.
Okay,
it's
great.
been, it's
Okay,
been
wait, I-
too long. Spoiler alert, Jon Snow dies
I
at the
didn't
end.
see it.
Oh my
Yes, you
gosh.
did. Well, okay,
And he's
okay.
dead.
I mean, I think
You
I
need
think we
to
can at
get
least
over it.
I think we can at least concede this because there's been so many announcements at this point that if you haven't picked up on this at this point, sorry. But I mean,
Sorry,
at the
Ryan, I
same, at the
ruined it
same,
for you the
I'm
other
sorry.
day. No, I
But-
ruined it for Ryan literally
And
in the
like-
car the other day. I was like, oh, you remember when Jon Snow
And-
died? And he
yeah.
was like,
And like with Glenn, spoiler alert again, but it's been too long.
With
Glenn is alive.
Who's Glenn?
Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about deaths.
are we changing
What?
gears? Did we move into Walking Dead somehow?
I don't
No.
know, but whatever. Okay.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm just trying to mention that.
All right, no.
yeah.
All right, that's fine. But it's like, we don't know yet, so we'll just season 6 will come out and we'll see on that, and soon they'll begin production on season 7. So
You're saying he's dead. Let's go about this. You're saying he's dead.
You're saying Jon
But at
Snow's
no point
dead.
did anyone ever come up, check his pulse, and say, "You're dead."
Right, and like everyone said, like, oh, Jon Snow's dead, and everyone's like, yeah, as far as we know. As far as we know. Dude, that's like a big butt right
Okay,
there. If I've
so
never heard.
Okay.
real quick, I want to
Yes,
get into
real
this
quick.
very quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah,
Very
okay,
quickly.
yeah.
Today on Twitter,
What?
Oh.
Rollings has announced
Okay.
the
Oh,
wand
yes.
design for a Harry Potter play. And that's how useful social media is. So hey, make sure you subscribe to our social media below. Subscribe, share our YouTube page.
Subscribe.
You know.
Right, look us up on there. Look us up on our PlayStation sites if you want to as well.
Yeah, hey, make sure if you ever want to play games with
Ever
us, you have a
want to-
PSN. 4 of us have PSNs.
Right.
Three of us. use them.
Three
Yep.
of us play.
Make it happen.
Also, we should mention about our new venture.
Yes,
Yes.
I was
So-
going to hit that.
Yeah.
Real quick, make sure you are hitting us up if you ever want to join us for RAM Plays. It's our Twitch account. So in there, you can come along. You can join in game if you want.
You can
also,
watch them play.
You can watch. Join in the discussion.
Because I don't have the game, so.
That's me.
Wait, watch them play.
Three of
Watch
us
the 3 of
will.
us play.
Yep.
Yes.
But you can definitely join in the conversation. Ask us questions. That's what it's there for. Comment on gameplay. Tell me how awful I am. That's okay.
I might make an appearance. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he might make an
Might be.
appearance. If you have tech questions, we could definitely call Ray and be like, Ray, you need to get on. They're asking actual specific questions about tech, and I just pretend to know.
They are.
Um,
Oh,
what? But just- join us for the conversation. Join us on RAM Plays. Leave your comments below in the comment box. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. Let us know what you want to hear about, because I swear to God, the moment you do it, we'll
Yes.
get it on the table.
And of
Thanks
course,
for watching.
Thank you.
And do you ram?